हेलो वीवर्स, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। आज इस वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे बहुत ही फेमस ऑथर की, D.H. लॉरेंस की। डेविड हर्बर्ट लॉरेंस, जिसे हम जानते हैं डेविड लॉरेंस के नाम से, was born in 1885 and died in 1930, was an English novelist and very famous for his novels. He is a writer, short story writer, poet, essayist. His modernist works reflect on modernity. So the D.H. Lawrence, modern age writer, an English novelist, a short story writer, and his works. We talk about his works, that his novel Sons and Lovers, The Rainbow, Women in Love. These are the famous work of D.H. Lawrence. So the D.H. Lawrence most famous 5 novels we will see in this video. Okay, one by one हम उसे देखेंगे कि D.H. लॉरेंस जो है उनके वर्क्स कौन कौन से फेमस है। उसमें सबसे पहले हम बात करेंगे द वाइट पिकॉक की, 1911। सो द वर्क्स की हम बात करें और सीक्वेंसली बात करें तो उनका सन्स एंड लवर्स 1913 में आया था और उसका अर्लियर टाइटल था पॉल मॉरेल, जो 1913 में आया था। ओके, सन्स एंड लवर्स, उसका अर्लियर टाइटल था पॉल मॉरेल, a novel that explores the complexities of family relationship and the impact of industrialization. Drawing his own emotional turmoil following on the death of his mother in 1910, Lawrence wrote Sons and Lovers, which is published in 1913. By this time, it was published. So, however, Lawrence had tired somewhat of the novel and perhaps owing the emotional labor required for it. So, he therefore granted it. And when we talk about the Sons and Lovers, it's a very famous novel, and the storyline of the Morel family is described here. The story follows the Morel family. The story follows the Morel family, focusing on the protagonist Paul Morel and his relationship with his mother Gertrude, and a various romantic interest is there. So when novel begin, Sons and Lover, with the Gertrude that discontent in her marriage to Walter Morel, a coal miner, and Paul in turn forms intense and complicated relationship with the women, including the Miriam Leviers and the Clara Dawes. So this is how the storyline follow the Morel family. Paul Morel is a main character, and telling the story of Paul Morel and his family, Sons and Lover, is both family saga and the building romance of sort. So at the center of the novel is a relationship between Paul and his mother Gertrude, an educated and refined woman who is frustrated in her marriage to a lower class coal miner, as she is devoted to her 3 children. Following the death of her eldest son Paul, a sickly child, just as Lawrence himself was, मतलब उसके बड़े बेटे की डेथ हो जाती है. ही इज़ अ सिकली चाइल्ड, नॉट अ प्रॉपर health maintain kind of a, became a particular pet of her, the deep love and exists between mother and son. So the however causes issue as Paul grows up. मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा ही वो अपने बेटे को प्यार करती है और जैसे जैसे वो बड़ा हो रहा है, सो द इश्यूज क्रिएट एंड फाइंड हिमसेल्फ इनकेपेबल ऑफ forming real long-term relationship with women. So does his love for his mother verge on in a Freudian style, जो सिगमंड फ्राइड है, ऑडिपस कॉम्प्लेक्स की हम बात करेंगे तो उस काइंड का कुछ हमें इस नॉवल में दिखाई देगा. असाइड फ्रॉम द एस्पेक्ट ऑफ द नॉवल, हाउएवर द पब्लिकेशन ऑफ सन्स एंड लवर्स ऑल्सो मार्क द seminal moment in the history of English novel. For the first time, working class lives were depicted here, and by working class writer who could capture both the struggles and the joy of life in Midlands mining community. So this is how the storyline. उसके बाद हम बात करेंगे जो वर्क है वो है रेनबो. सो द रेनबो वॉज पब्लिश इन 1915, just 2 years after the Sons and Lovers. Rainbow is a sequel of Women in Love. The Rainbow is a sequel of the Women in Love, and the Rainbow is a family saga that charting the lives and love lives of 3 generations यहाँ पे दिखाई जाती है. Brangwens across the 1840s to 1905 in the Nottinghamshire, and against the backdrop of increasing industrialization, the novel moves from the life of Tom Brangwen, a farmer, जो स्टोरी है नॉवेल मूव करता है ऑफ टॉम ब्रांगविन अ फार्मर है टू दैट ऑफ हिज ग्रैंड डॉटर उर्सुला who attend the university and go on work as a teacher. So the novel that explore the life of the Brangwen family over several generations in the English milestone. And the novel begin with the Tom Brangwen, a farmer है, his wife Lydia है, daughter Ursula है, who became the central character. Ursula is a that portrayed as a free-spirited and independent woman who seeks a job, and Ursula, who attend the university and goes work as a teacher. It is a Ursula section of the novel that dominate as she struggled to make her way and to find love in what would have been a near contemporary society. So the Lawrence first readership, in a bid to find a love that is both satisfying and meaningful, Ursula has a relationship not only with the Anton Scarbenskay, a British soldier of the Polish heritage, but also a relationship with a fellow female teacher, Winifred Inger. So, in writing the latter, Lawrence drew inspiration from the same-sex relationship or the homosexuality of Catherine Mansfield. Mansfield was a friend of Lawrence, though she was particularly close to his partner Fredia. So, this is how the storyline of between the Rainbow, to whom he had confined the story of illicit lesbian love affair in the confidence, and Frida in turn relayed the story to the Lawrence and then Mansfield. So the read the Rainbow, she was dismayed to find her own story fictionalized through the experience of Ursula, and this betrayal color her opinion of the novel as whole. Through she remained intimate friend with the Lawrence and Frida for the long time. So it is also as a result of Lawrence's depiction of sexual homosexuality and the Rainbow being tried to obscenity in the United Kingdom. So this is how as consequences over 1000 copies of the novel were confiscated and subsequently burned also, because the relationship between the Frida and the it is about the Mansfield was a friend of it, and a kind of a Ursula is depicted like that. Ursula has a relationship not only the Anton Scarenbensky as well as the her female teacher. Okay, so this is how the storyline of that द रेनबो जो 1915 में आई थी. उसके बाद आता है वुमेन इन लव 1920 में. इन 1920 वुमेन इन लिव द सीक्वल टू द रेनबो. रेनबो जो नॉवल है उसका सीक्वल है जो 1920 में पब्लिश हुआ. एक्सप्लोर द कॉम्प्लेक्स रिलेशनशिप and societal dynamics among four characters: Ursula, Gudrun, as well as here the Gerald Rich and Rupert Brickin. So the Ursula and Gudrun, sisters with the contrasting personalities, that negative love and self-discovery. So the Ursula's relationship with Rupert Brickin in a central reflecting Lawrence's exploration of evolving dynamics between men and women in changing world. Okay, so the women in love sequence of the rainbow was published in 1920, staying with the Brangwen family. Same, it follows the love lives of Ursula and younger sister Gudrun. While Ursula is still working as a teacher, she gets better acquainted with Rupert Brickin, a school inspector, while intellectual closely aligned with the Lawrence himself. So the Gudrun meanwhile has returned home to Nottinghamshire from London, where she is an artist. Back home she meets the Gerald Rich and the wealthy heir to the local coal mine. While Ursula and Brickin's relationship runs relatively smoothly, and Gudrun and Gerald are locked in a battle of wills, and eight seemingly cannot stay from each other, away from each other, and all of is built to an explosive denouement. So this is how the storyline of the Women in Love. As with the Rainbow before it, Women in Love caused controversy, although it was only available to subscriber in UK due to the ban of the Rainbow. Okay, then after that, one more famous thing और अ नॉवल कम्स दैट लेडी चैटरलेस लवर, इसकी कैरेक्टर भी पूछे जाते हैं, जो पब्लिश हुआ था 1928 में इन इटली एंड 1929 में फ्रांस में, मतलब 28 में इटली में पब्लिश हुआ और 29 में फ्रांस में पब्लिश हुआ। ये जो नॉवल है एक्सप्लोर करता है थीम ऑफ लव, क्लास एंड सेक्सुअलिटी, that Lady Chatterley, as she is negatives her unhappy marriage to the Sir Clifford Chatterley, who is paralyzed from the waist down. This is how the storyline started, and Lady Chatterley's lover enjoy a somewhat infamous reputation. This is in spite of having been found not guilty of obscenity. It is watershed trial of 1960s. So it is published privately in Italy in 28, and Lady Chatterley's lover is said to be based on the number of different stories, including an affair between the Lady Ottoline Morel, a stonemason in her employ, and E.M. Foster's novel Maurice, so which remain unpublished until 1971 also. Okay, so just as a Maurice focus on a homosexual love and desire and features to love affair between two men different classes. So the Lady Chatterley's lover was considered as a scandalous in part because it is depicted sexual relation between an upper class woman to the eponymous Connie Chatterley and her gamekeeper Oliver Mellors. So this is turn feed into the novel, and this is how the novel is about. Then Connie Chatterley's husband Sir Clifford Chatterley is paralyzed from the waist down due to the injuries sustained during the First War. Since he is left sexually impotent, as a result, Connie embark an affair with the Mollets. So this is how the a story of it. Including it, there is one more novel of D.H. Lawrence, and we will talk about it, that is The White Peacock. So the White Peacock, it is published in 1911, which is one of the Lawrence most notable novel, not least because it is a depth novel narrated by a character named Kyril Beardshall. It is written in the first person, who is atypical of Lawrence's latter novel. Okay, so this is how the Morris in 1891, and the White Peacock is inspired by the painting of an early and फर्स्ट नॉवल ऑफ लॉरेंस. उसके बाद उनका और एक नॉवल है कंगारू. कंगारू जो है वो पब्लिश हुआ था 1923 में, सेट इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया, एन अकाउंट ऑफ अ विजिट टू न्यू साउथ वेल्स बाय एन इंग्लिश राइटर नेम्ड रिचर्ड लॉवेट एंड सम और एंड इज. ओके, आफ्टर दैट द प्लम सर्पेंट इन 1926 अ पॉलिटिकल नॉवल है. उसके बाद एस्केप्ड कॉक अ शॉर्ट नॉवल है जो 1929 में आया था, ओरिजिनली रिटन इन 2 पार्ट्स. जो एस्केप्ड कॉक जो है वो 2 पार्ट्स में ओरिजिनली लिखा गया था. द स्टोरी इज रिएस्टिंग ऑफ द recrucifixion of Christ narrated in the New Testament, and the man who survived his crucifixion comes to celebrate his bodily existence. उसके बाद उनका द वर्जिन एंड द जिप्सी एक शॉर्ट नॉवल है जो पॉस्टमोसली पब्लिश हुआ था 1930 में. द टेल रिलेट्स द स्टोरी ऑफ 2 sisters, डॉटर ऑफ एन एंग्लिकन विकार. सो दिस इज हाउ द फेमस वर्क ऑफ D.H. लॉरेंस, जिसमें आपको द रेनबो को पढ़ना है बहुत अच्छे से, विमेन इन लव, लेडी चैटरलेस लवर, द वाइट पीकॉक जो उनकी डेप्थ नॉवल है, एज वेल एज द माइनर वर्क आल्सो यू शुड कीप इन माइंड कंगारू, द प्लम सर्पेंट एंड द एस्केप कॉक एंड द वर्जिन एंड द जिप्सी. अगर आपको मेरी वीडियो अच्छी लग रही है तो लाइक करें, शेयर करें और बेल आइकन का बटन दबाना ना भूलें.